So the results of my research are pretty complex in terms of there are multiple data points that you can take a look at. But just to give you an idea of a few things that I discovered. When we start talking about what young people are doing in their everyday lives and then how they think what they're doing with technology, whether they're taking pictures, whether they're creating PowerPoints, whether they're modifying games, whether or not they think those things are important in college, there are contrasts there. And there are also contrasts, particularly when they assign value to what they think they're going to do with these things in the future. So let me give you just one data point that I think is really interesting. There is a segment of youth that really believes that music is valuable in community college classrooms. They think that it's valuable to whatever they're engaging in, and they think that learning in the college classroom is going to enhance their music usage, or that music's going to be a part of that. It's really intriguing, and when we start to drill down to some of the differences among males and females, and then youths from different racial and ethnic backgrounds, it becomes even more complex. I mean, there are young people who think they will come to community college and that what they're engaging in their everyday lives, like entertainment, using social networking, that social networking for some will definitely be incorporated into the college classroom, and for others they can't imagine. So they create in their own minds and assign value to how relevant it's going to be to their learning. What's intriguing about this is that while some of the things that they think are going to be important in college, like creating multimedia presentations, emailing, they really align with what I would call traditional ways of producing knowledge in the academy. I love that phrase. I use it as many times and as often as I can. And if we think about how we get our students to produce knowledge in the academy, they usually align with traditional print media and producing papers and increasingly multimedia presentations. What's intriguing to me, though, that there are contrasts, that people do believe that music won't be important, that some people believe that gaming will be important. And when we start to think about the conversations that are happening outside the community college realm, when we start talking about gamification of education, it's partially because we see this being taken up in the cultural fabric of youth, but also in business. And so it's something for us to consider. What is also intriguing to me is how there are contrasts when young people get to the end of their college life and they go into their future everyday work environments or in their everyday life. There's a vast drop-off of things that they think are important in college. For example, I believe it's almost a 50% drop in people who think that creating multimedia presentations is going to be relevant to their future life. That's pretty shocking when we talk about workforce development and production and how we're having them produce knowledge so that we know that they've learned inside the academy, and then to think about how they're going to have to produce their everyday lives and work in their everyday lives, that there's that stark of a contrast, that there's reason for conversation there. What is the disconnect? And I think that it's definitely worthy of exploring.